Hi, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Jackson and this is New Money Methods YouTube channel. So in this video, we're going to be doing some market analysis in Bitcoin and the entire crypto market. So if you've been following Bitcoin or the entire crypto market for some time, you understand that we have been having this massive sell-off for almost 2 years, right? From the all-time high of about 68,000 and market has dropped up to about 16,000 in just 2 years. So in fact, if you take a look of the percentage drop down, you can notice that from the all-time high of about 68,000, market dropped to 16,000 and losing about 76% in just 2 years. So that is a huge market crash. In fact, has been crashing for the past 2 years. So this video, I'm going to be doing for you some market analysis. I'm basically showing you where we came from, where we are, and where we are likely to go for this year, 2023. And in fact, what is more surprising is that by the beginning of this year, we have seen massive buying in the entire crypto market. In fact, if you take a look at around January, by the beginning of this year, market has been buying like crazy. In fact, just to show you where we are, if you check on the percentage gain right here, you will notice that since the year began, we have so far made about 37% return in just 23 days of 2023, right? So this is a huge, massive growth. And now everyone is biased. Is this going to be the start of a new uptrend or market is still going to crash? In fact, if you take a look, this did not only happen to Bitcoin, right? All other coins are experiencing the same growth since the year began. In fact, if you take a look at Dogecoin, you can notice here Dogecoin has also been buying since the year began. And if you take a look of what happened with Dogecoin, you can notice that since the year began, Dogecoin has made returns of about 32% growth in just 23 days. So if you take a look at other coin like Mana USDT has also been buying massively since the year began. If you take a look, since the year began, Mana has made about 150% gain in just 23 days, which is really massive in just these few days. Now we also look at some other coin. Let's look at Ethereum USDT. Now, if you check Ethereum USDT, the same thing has been happening with Ethereum as well. And in fact, if you take note, Ethereum has made about 39% return gain in just these few days. So now everyone is asking, is this going to be the start of a new uptrend? Is the crypto market going to reverse into an uptrend, or it's still going to continue sucking like it has been? So let's find out. Again, going back to our BTC USDT, and I'm going to have my chart in full screen so that I can get a clear view of what has been happening in the markets for the past few years, right? So if you go back then in September 2020, where we had this massive growth in the entire Bitcoin market. In fact, that was the biggest growth in the history of Bitcoin, right? In fact, if you take a look here, you can notice that from September 2020 to May 2021, that's about 7 or 6 months, Bitcoin did more than 500% return gain. In fact, close to 600% in just about 7 months. Then from the high of about 64,000, Bitcoin then crashed and lost about 53% in just 2 months, right? And of which from then it tried to bounce back from that support level. In fact, if we can get this line, this is a level of support. If you can check from the previous, you can see it was respected, right? So it tried to bounce back from that support level and it again made another increment of about, let me just get rid of this thing and try again. So from the support level, it bounced again 125% growth to the whole time high before we had this huge market crash that happened recently. And let me now go ahead and put for you support and resistance lines and basically showing you how this recent market growth couldn't respect any of them. Now we have one at this all-time high, and then we also have another one at this point, and then we can also have one at this point. Okay, right here. And let me try to zoom in here and see. So we can also have one at this point where the market couldn't go below, right? So if you can notice something that has happened recently, you can see after the bouncing off over these support levels, market could not respect any of them, right? It was a huge buy and it actually broke over these levels of support and none of them was respected, right? So let me also have this one. Me also have one over this point, and you can notice even that one was not respected as well. So it was a huge momentum coming into the market to the extent that none of these support and resistance levels were respected at any point, right? Now let me go ahead and remove all these lines of support and resistance and show you the amazing thing that has happened with the market structure recently. Now, what you already understand with the market is that markets go through periods, right? There are periods of an uptrend and periods of downtrend. In other words, you have the bullish momentum and the bearish momentum, or the bull market and the bear market, right? So if you take a look right here, if I can get my pen, and I'm just going to show you what has been happening in the past by the time that we had this back in 2021. Now you notice that during an uptrend, market does not go up in a straight line, right? It kind of makes series of up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's like someone has to rest before they make a next movement, right? And that is what we call an uptrend. Now, during an uptrend, that is when the market is bullish or the economy in that very particular asset is increasing. Now, in fact, if you look at this market structure, so market goes higher, goes lower, higher, lower, goes higher, lower, higher, lower, until it lost momentum and it could not go above that point. Now you notice that in the market, everything would be good if the market is still doing higher highs and higher lows. But the moment it starts making same highs and same lows, that signifies a trend reversal. And that's where actually we started reversing and we had this huge crash that happened in about 2 months, right? If you cannot spot the market structure clearly, then you can implement the trend line trading, right? And trend line is also powerful, just like market structure, just like any other indicator, right? So if you can put your trend line right there, you can see the points where the market was being rejected over time. So if you take a look at this point, market was bouncing. In other words, the trend line acted like a level of support. So every time market came to that point, it was supported and bounced back. That point bounced back, that point bounced back until it lost momentum and it broke below that support trending line and actually came back, retested, and we had huge market crash. So if you cannot look at the market structure, then you could also look at the trend line, how it's being supported all over the uptrend. It also gets supported the same way the market structure is doing. So it also makes higher highs and higher lows point until it could not be supported anymore and it broke down after losing momentum. So right now, let me now show you how trend reversals always happen and how the market lose momentum before the reversal actually happens. So if I can have resistance level right there, and as you can see how the market started making same highs and same lows, almost cross, right? And that is how actually the market lost momentum and then broke below that trend line. So if you can check how the market was being supported at the trend line, supported, and now at that point it broke below the trend line, then come back, retested the previous support level, is now becoming the resistance for the new trend moving all the way down. So that is how the trend reversals always happen. So you have at first market losing momentum, the previous higher highs start becoming same highs, the previous lower lows start become same lows, and then we have the reversal, the break through the trend line or the neckline of whichever pattern that is being formed. You also notice how the trend line was being supported here, and at that point was broken and actually came back, retested it, and we had this huge market crash all the way down. So you can also take a look at that information that occurred before the market collapsed. Now, if we continue to this downtrend where we had this big market crash, and we are going to use the trend line. So if we draw the best line of fit going down, and you can see it may fit onto these points. So this is the best line of. Now, if you notice what happened, you can check, right? We had this pattern formation. We had this pattern formation right here, which happens to be a good reversal pattern formation. So you can take note, we had this good M formation, and after which then we had market crashing all the way down. And if you look at the market structure, has also been making lower highs and lower lows, right? So not until up to this point, it then broke above the trend line and came back, retested the trend line and consolidated for a while, and then moved all the way up. And this is what has been happening in the past. Now, the fact that there is no more momentum in the market, we would expect some sort of pattern that could help us determine a reversal. And if you look at this, at the market structure, you could see it's some sort of making some sort of a shoulder or then a head. So we could wait to see if there is any retracement to the downside before the market can move up. Then we could confirm as an inverted head and shoulder. So if you look at the structure, this could signify an inverted head and shoulder, depending on how it looks like as it is still forming. So that could be the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder before we can see a big movement up. Now, one of the most powerful indicators that I like to use are the moving averages, right? So if I put my moving averages, you check, we have the 50 simple moving average, which happens to be the black line, then the green line, which is 150 moving average, and the blue line, which is the 200 moving average. Now, moving averages are very powerful tools in the way that they will help you determine the direction of the trend in case you have problems with identifying the trend movements, right? So in fact, if we go back then in 2021, before we had the big move in the markets, you can notice where at the point where we had the moving average crossover, right? Where we had the 50 moving average cross above the 150 and the 200 moving average, and you can see this was a good sign that the market is going to move up. And certainly after that, market move out like crazy, and you can take note of the moving average of their direction and the formation. So with 50 moving average above 150 moving average and 250. So whenever the market is going up, the 50 moving average has to cross above the 150 and 200 moving average. And also note that during an uptrend, all the three moving averages have to be facing up. And the same thing reverse is true. During the downtrend, to confirm the downtrend, you have to wait until you see the crossover happening with the 50 moving average closing below 150 moving average and 200 moving average. And when that happens, you expect a change in trend in the opposite direction. Now, if you take a look at where we are, the moving averages haven't yet crossed over, right? But they are kind of looking like they are changing the direction. So they are not facing down anymore. They are not flat, but they are starting to change the direction, looking the other way up. So as conservative traders or long-term traders who have to enter after the confirmation, you have to wait for the crossover to happen. And after the crossover has happened, then you have to wait for some retracement to the moving averages before the next big run happens, or before you can enter, right? Because usually there's always a tendency in the markets, after a crossover happens, you have to wait for the market retracement to the moving average, then you can enter again. If you can check right here, after the moving average crossed over, then the market had to retrace back to the moving average to gain momentum before it moves away again. So this is the only thing that we have to wait for now as conservative traders, because you don't have to enter blindly. So after the confirmation of 2 or 3 indicators, you are very optimistic the market is going to go up, then you wait for the moving average crossover. After crossing over, waiting for the price to retest the moving average before you can enter at the good price. So let me now head over to Google, and in the search, I'm going to type finviz.com, hit enter. So finviz.com is a stock screener app, and just to show you what is amazing here is that this one that is happening in crypto market is not only in crypto market, right? It is also in stock market. If you look at the map for the stock market, you can take notice everything is also turning green. So which means even the stock market is changing the direction to uptrend, right? So if you can take a look at Amazon, you look at Google, Microsoft, Tesla, So almost everything is turning green. So the entire financials is going to be optimistic for the year 2023. And that is my thinking. Anyway, I'm not a guru. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm very optimistic this year. Everything in financials, everything is going to end high than it started. So I'm going to have a video for the stock market and again giving you my outlook for the year 2023. Stay out tuned, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Hit that like button and I will see you in another one. Bye bye and take care.